know, it's a new month, fresh start. So
absolutely. It is Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah. Freshly starting our podcast again. Yes. So I'm happy about these episodes.
Me too. This is like our 5th or 6th episode, but our first recording in person.
Yes. So
I'm excited about
that. I like doing these things in person.
Right.
It's just better energy when you're right here. We can have a good conversation. We can't get knocked off for any technical issues.
Absolutely.
I'm like, person is so much better.
Right. You're muted.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this because, as we all know, this is a very needed platform for single mothers.
Absolutely.
Which is why we started this. So.
Right. Yes, just having a platform, having a safe space for us to connect with each other, release some the stress, the issues that we may be having or holding on to, and just to be around people that we connect to and can relate to. Mm-hmm. So I think, we've been able to relate on a lot of levels.
Absolutely.
Me being a business owner, me being an up-and-coming small business owner, being a single mom, but I be getting a lot of questions about why do you call yourself a single mom and you're in a relationship? How are you a single mom?
I think that's easy. We don't have rings on our fingers. We aren't married. So we could be in a relationship today and not in one tomorrow. Like, again, if we're not in a committed relationship and it's not marriage, for me, I consider myself single.
Right.
Single until someone puts a ring on.
Okay. So single, like, you're in a relationship or...
He's not...
Clarify that.
Okay, so first of all, my boyfriend is not the stepfather of my child yet. So again, I'm raising my child singularly by myself. He has no responsibilities to my child just because we might be dating. Okay. He doesn't have that same role. I feel like if he was my husband, then okay, that's a real commitment. We're in this. He's accepted my child on another level to be his stepfather. But right now, I am my son's sole provider. I mean, his father does contribute some, but he's been living with me ever since we broke up, and that's been many years ago. So, I'm a single mother, and again, many men, they come and they go.
Right.
Nobody has been really consistent, to be honest with you. So I'm not claiming anybody that I'm not locked down to.
See, and like in my situation, I'm in a relationship. We live together. He's accepted my daughter. He's helped out, supported in many ways. We're not married, and to be transparent and open and honest, we have been a little back and forth in terms of our status. So when it comes to me identifying myself as a single mom, when we break up, my daughter's with me.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for getting her to school, making sure she's eating and she has everything that she needs. Her dad does too. So, but we're not together. So I'm still a single mom until I feel like in that relationship, who I'm with feels obligated, even if we were to break up, like you're not as responsible as I am for my child. And I've seen it. When we broke up, I see how singularly I am. Exactly. Like, this is your daughter. But he loves her. He helps me take care of her. He's like her own.
Right.
Or she's like his own. But when we break up, she's
it's
back
all
to
you
my
get. Exactly.
So when we get married, if we're not winning, if it was to actually ever transpire into that, then the title can change. The goal is for us to transition, I think, from being a single mom to being a wife and being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
No, that is definitely the goal for me. I have had a couple of friends that were single moms in a relationship, dating after a couple years, and they finally did get married. So they're no longer single moms anymore, and their new partner is definitely helping, co-parent that child as if it were his own, because now he's made a commitment to her in marriage, and then to take on the responsibility of playing the role of stepfather.
Right.
That's what you do when you marry someone, or that's what you should do.
Exactly. That's what
you should do.
But so you're just to clarify, you're in a relationship.
I am in a relationship.
You live together.
We are currently living together. Our status is always changing, to be honest.
It be like that.
Lord, my business, we gonna be honest. We're like, what? Yeah. So he could be here today, gone tomorrow. I'm just saying, I'm just gonna be straight up and honest. I don't know. And that's why, too, again, I never like to put any responsibility on anyone, especially like we haven't been together as long as it's been a year and some months. But again, because things are so shaky and you just don't know, like it takes a while to get to know people.
Right. Especially having a child.
Yeah. So I'm like, you can't be claiming nobody like that. Even if he moved in, I don't care. Like, no, I am still a single mother. I take my son to work every day. I take him to his practices whenever he has something to do. If I ask him,
He'll do it.
then he'll do it. But does he ever volunteer? Is he excited about doing it? No, I feel like he's in the house and that's my child and I'm still doing everything.
There's certain levels of responsibility and phases that they have to really reach and mount to before you can no longer consider yourself a single mom.
Absolutely.
And I get that. And in terms of what we're looking for as single moms in a relationship in a man, one, we want to make sure that our children are comfortable and safe around whoever we're with.
Yeah.
So I know for me, if I'm looking for somebody, looking for a relationship, it's not just me dating them, me getting to know them. I have to make sure that you are compatible with my child.
Exactly.
And so this kind of brings me to the question of when or how long do you think we should wait until our child meets the person that we're with or the guy that we're dating?
Well, I think it really depends on the age of the child, because when my son was younger, I definitely did not want him to meet like different people, especially if I was just dating different people on a regular basis. I'm like, okay, he might be like, who is this? Who's that?
Right.
So I'm definitely not gonna just introduce somebody that I met just for a couple months. I'm like, nah. There was this one guy, for instance, I was dating for almost made a year. And I was just waiting because I was unsure. And then sure enough, like I think it might have been the 10th or 11th month, we broke up. And I was like, thank God I did not introduce myself to him.
Right, exactly. Like we waited a couple of months before I introduced him to Callie, my daughter, and I met his sons. He has 3 sons. But if I was to do this again, I would definitely wait a year or 2. Like I would wait because you don't know. It takes a couple of years for you guys to really get to know each other and for you to build that trust and to establish commitment.
Right.
Because commitment is not just me saying I like you, I love you, let's be together. You have great traits. No, commitment is sticking it out, not this back and forth. I can't.
I'm so tired of it.
I know, but
with my current boyfriend, I will say that my son met him like probably 4 months in, because that's when we actually decided we was gonna live together. And I know that was kind of quick.
Well, I'm sure.
4 months.
Wow.
We've been together a year and probably 3 months now. But when I say like it is definitely it's a challenge, because one, when you like move in with somebody that quickly, like you just know everything. Like everything is like boom.
Right.
It's almost like you're thrown into marriage and you didn't really fully know the person.
Right. Oh God.
So I definitely say take your time out there, y'all. Anybody that's listening, even considering it, and you're like, oh, we're in love. Oh my gosh, like that is
not enough.
Right, and that is definitely the honeymoon stages. So I would take your time and like let the honeymoon stage phase out, and then when like real life starts happening, see how they handle certain situations, see how you handle situations.
See if you still like them.
Yes.
See if you still like them.
Yes. See if you still like him.
Oh
my gosh, it is too much. But seriously, so let's talk about, how do we become single moms? I know some people are wondering that. We talked about why we consider ourselves single moms. But yeah, how did you?
I became a single mom. Well, as we know, I mentioned it before in previous episodes, I'm divorced. I was married for 3 years. I was with my ex-husband for nearly 10 years. And, there was a level of growth that I think I was striving for and I did see in myself. And I felt like my husband at the time was just too content with who he was. And there were certain expectations that I needed in a relationship. Me, I'm very affectionate. I'm very loving.
Yeah.
I need that love, and I need you to be
the
assertive.
same way.
Yes, I need you to be assertive with your affection with me. Meaning, if we're hanging out, or we have a night out of town, or we're just at the movies, I want some love. I want you to put your arm around me.
Hold my hand, something when we're walking.
And I thought he's a great guy. He was so funny, and me, I like my men kind of quiet. I like to know things about them that other people don't.
Okay.
So he had this attitude where people would think he's really mean, but he actually was hilarious, and he was really, really smart, and that's what made me attracted to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So I also kind of felt a little tricked because the person I met initially, turned out to be somebody different. Once how you get them is kind of how you lose them. But I felt like when I was more attracted to him when I met him, and then once he had me, he didn't take those steps to keep me, and that's because he admitted. I appreciate his honesty. He admitted, what I did to get you, I had no interest in keeping it up. I just did
really?
that to you. Yes.
Oh my gosh! I swear, I feel like I tell my boyfriend now the same thing. I'm like, yo, you were totally different, and I can see like too because we're having some issues around this because I'm like, yo, you were not like this, but he said, okay, look, he was very affectionate and loving, and he told me he's normally not like this. But see, he said, but he told me that he is normally not like this, and he told me he was an asshole, but he never showed me that he was one. But then when I said it, he was like, but I always told you that I was one, and I'm like, right.
When they say
but I'm like,
something,
but you never showed me that, so you were showing me this loving, affectionate good side that you liked. And then it just all of a sudden flipped, and that's really not who he is. Right. He is not.
That's our, you know what? That's our fault. I don't think we think we can change people, but I think when we're in love with someone and we know our personality and our potential, that's what we do. We either commit or we marry potential, and that's where we messed up. And that's where I was wrong. I went to the aisle hoping and thinking that he would change and mold into who I needed him to be instead of accepting him for who he was. Right. So essentially, it was never going to work. So fast forward to us having a daughter. Honestly, he didn't want any kids with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He didn't want any kids, but I told him, I think this is the only thing that we can do to save our marriage.
Oh wow.
And I didn't talk to anybody. My mom was like, I wish you would have talked to somebody before you made this decision. I would have told you where you was headed. But me, I just. And I'm not saying I was perfect. I was really, and I said it before, I was really bad with money. He had his reasons to kind of, resent me to an extent. But I felt like I said, I'm gonna make a better effort, and I think we need to have this baby. And 9 months after we had our daughter, and it was so hard. I had a really bad pregnancy. Wow. I was bedridden for 8 months.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and that's what's so sad. After you're in a relationship or being married, you have this child, and then you have to go through this breakup after everything that you've been through to bring the child into the world, to create this family. Now you have to deal with transitioning into raising your child separately.
But Callie is a blessing.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I needed her. My daughter is what woke me up. My daughter is what really showed me what unconditional love was. I didn't realize that I didn't know what love was. Even though I couldn't receive it from people because of my mindset, because of my traumas and how I processed the things that were happening to me. I now have this child, and I'm able to love her no matter what, and I know she feels the same way about me. Yeah. And I appreciate him for helping me to bring her into this world.
Right.
So then we served our purpose with each other. Yeah. Once I got into another relationship, things kind of went left. I mean, even before him, things, it transpired, and our relationship was a little tumultuous in terms of raising our daughter. We were separated, and now it's at a calm.
Okay.
But
that's good.
It's not where it should be,
But it's better.
But it's much, much better. So I became a single mom after we separated and we got divorced because we're two different people. We knew that from the beginning, but we tried to make it work. And sometimes you can't. You gotta just take losses.
So you were trying to make those puzzle pieces fit, knowing that they didn't. And this is actually good for me to hear out loud too, because I think that I do that a lot of times myself. Yeah. When I feel like deep down it's really not gonna work, but I'm like, oh, maybe let me try this. But it's funny, you said you had the baby. My boyfriend was like, hey, look, I bought us a dog.
That's another child.
Yeah, it is like a child.
Another child. A dog?
No. I was like, so we got a baby, a furry baby.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So y'all have a baby, okay. And how did you become a single mom?
So I was my son's father for 10 years. Everything was great.
Something about that 10-year mark.
Right.
Something about that 10-year mark. Oh no.
Crazy, right? And then we were talking about getting engaged, and everything was good. So we ended up, I met him in New York City when I lived there, and we moved to Connecticut. Connecticut because he wanted to come here, suburban life, like buy a house, things like that. So I was like, okay, cool. So we moved in together, bought a house. He still had his business in New York, and I think like so he was back and forth, and I think during that time somewhere we just kind of like we separated. I don't know, we grew apart. I think.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, we definitely grew apart. I started to build a life in Connecticut, meet new friends and people, and then he would be again back and forth. And little by little, he started staying in New York more and more. And I'm just like, what is going on
Did he
here?
have somebody?
So, you know how your parents be like, girl, he got a whole other family back there. And I'm like, don't tell me that. So, honestly, I think he had something else going on and he met somebody.
Oh, so we still don't know?
No,
I said we like,
but then I started to meet somebody on a job like that I was feeling, and then so we were just both like holding on, and then we said we just need to let this go. We said we were gonna take some time apart. When you say you need to take some time apart, like
it's over.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it depends. It depends because sometimes you can say you need some time apart and really mean that, meaning not break up, but look, I need to be over here. You need to be over there, and maybe I wasn't at my mom's, or I mean, I think it can work sometimes. To kind of that distance kind of speaks volumes and can bring you together.
Yeah.
I mean, but he was seeing somebody else.
I really think so, honestly, and I'm just like,
sorry.
so whatever. No, don't be sorry. I'm glad though now, because like he's remarried, he has another son and everything, and I'm actually glad that I didn't marry him because I realized that I wasn't ready, and I was 22.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was 20 years older than me, so yeah, I used to like moan. Girl,
20?
oh my gosh, yeah, my son be having jokes though. Talking about his daddy gonna be alive when he graduates.
Yes, it is how old now?
He's gonna be 17 this month.
Oh, that's dirty. That's dirty.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, but no, I'm definitely in a different space. So, like now, I feel like I could be more ready for marriage, but definitely not at 22.
Right.
And I definitely feel like he wasn't the right person for me. He definitely served his purpose at the time too, because like I'm very grateful to have my son, and my son is like really cool and chill. And I'm like,
he is.
God knows that like I needed a boy that was easy because I actually wanted a girl. So no, I'm glad I have my boy, and that he's as easy breezy as he is.
He's pretty cool. Really smooth fella.
Thank you.
Yeah, he is. But that's good. So like, what has been the hardest thing for you in terms of being a single mom, raising your child, by yourself? What has been the most challenging?
I would say the most challenging thing for me, honestly, is just trying to give my son the attention, especially when he was younger. So giving him the attention that he needed, working full time. I also was going to school full time at one point, and I just felt like I had no time for anything and no energy. And I was like, I felt like he's suffering because I'm not giving him that attention that he needed. But also I was like, well, I'm doing this because I have goals for us, and I'm trying to like build a business and stuff like that.
Right.
So as I've gotten older though, as he's gotten older actually, I feel like he's more understanding. He knows, and he's a little entrepreneur himself too. So we work together now on a lot of things, and I'm teaching him certain things. So he knows that like I'm working hard to like build a better life for us. That's what I've always said. I'm trying to make sure, like, oh, you want this, you want that. Well, guess what? Mommy's got to go out and get it. Like, she's got to make the money. Yeah, so he definitely understands the hustle now. And the thing that is challenging. We always become the body. Always. Stay tuned for all the merch, okay? Definitely. But I would say now the challenge is like he's older. I can't wait for him to start driving because he wanted to do all these activities, and I feel like, dang, like your daddy ain't here to come take you. Like, why I gotta be the only one?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He don't ride.
And his dad lives in New York, so I'm just like, it's always been me. Right. So now if I'm not Ubering him somewhere,
which is it's not cost effective with the Ubers.
No, it's not. No. But now he working a little part-time job, so I make it.
Oh, so you got it?
Oh, but he be mad that he has to pay.
But here's the thing. You see how they are.
I'm like, you be mad that I have to pay, but I'm like, all the times you ask me to spend money on you, and I was like, well, now you see. When it comes to
got this haircut, this $40 haircut, now you ask me to drive you somewhere.
Exactly. And then he started karate talking about, I said, well, what's the schedule for Friday. He didn't tell me it was 4 days a week. I said, so I'm supposed to take you 4 days a week, knowing I have my studio, knowing I have this going on, and now you I said,
yep.
no, I said you're gonna be taking that low budget money to Uber.
Or take that bike out.
But I'm like, at least 2 days a week, you Ubering.
Right. But it's a sense of responsibility. He's about 17 years old, and I'm sure he can handle it.
He can, but it's definitely tough though to feel like, oh, I wish I had a partner that was kind of more active in helping me do these things. Because sometimes, even though we can pay for Ubers or whatever, excuse me, it's still tough to be like, I gotta do it by myself.
Right, it is, and that's what I appreciate about my daughter's father, even my current relationship. There was times when I forgot to bring my daughter her lunch for school.
Oh wow,
so
yeah.
I'm texting him like, okay, I shouldn't be saying this. I'm gonna text my boyfriend or my baby dad.
See, y'all get the real on this show because it is what it is.
It is what it is, and I've already been reprimanded for it, but no, but that's my daughter's father, so he'll Uber or my boyfriend would Uber her food, clothes, he goes half, or sometimes he just buys it all and send me money for her, send me money to take her out. So I appreciate that. Like we have come to a place, where we're both her parents. She still has her family, even though we're in a different setting. So what we try to do is, in terms of the rules in raising her, have the same morals and principles to a great extent. What you see in your house, in daddy's house, is the same thing what you're going to see in mommy's house, to an extent, because he has these.
Right.
We all have our own vices, but he also has this way of thinking, this tunnel vision that I don't agree with certain things. So
that's why you got to do some extra.
Exactly, extra.
Like I know your daddy when you go to his house, he's gonna tell you.
Exactly.
But just know.
And then you see those personality traits. Like she has both of us. She has a little bit of both of us. And I'm just looking at her like, damn, I feel so bad. Like, but she's great. She's so smart and vibrant, and everyone loves her.
She is. She's so cute. I love. Yeah.
Yes.
So sassy.
Very little sassy, but she's her own person. So I'm learning to give her what she needs and what she requires of me, and not so much insert myself and my needs from when I was younger and into her, into my parenting. Because I don't want to say, I wanted to do this. Like I wanted to do gymnastics when I was younger. So I'm gonna put her in it.
Right. No.
I want you to do gymnastics.
Living vicariously through her.
Exactly. I don't want to do that, and I think a lot of us we can.
Yes.
So I listen to her. She likes puzzles. There's certain shows that she likes, books that she likes to read, and I read with her. I hate this. What's this show? Captain Underpants or whatever it's called. I hate it, but she'll read the book. Like we'll read it together. So I'm learning who she is, and I'm finding her strengths, and I'm really helping her to target those weaknesses so that we can build on it and build up her character. But I think for me, in terms of the hardest thing that I've dealt with being a single mom and raising my daughter, was finding myself and transitioning into the woman that I've become while raising her. Because I know I made a lot of mistakes and I made poor choices, and she was affected by them. And you feel so responsible, and you're so hard on yourself as a mother, period.
Definitely.
But when you feel like you've broken that family setting, that family aspect from her, and you want to give her what you feel she deserves. Every child deserves to have a home with both of their parents.
Absolutely.
But then when you check yourself, you check in with yourself, you really have to do a self-inventory and ask, well, what am I giving her? How is she responding to what I'm providing for her? Is she getting enough love? Is she getting enough attention? And with going down the list, she wasn't getting certain things. I wasn't giving her enough attention.
Right.
She's very young, but she can express herself very clearly and communicate effectively. She's like, Mommy, you're always busy. You come home, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're on the phone, you're working. You work, you just keep working, Mommy. I want you to watch TV with me. I'm like, baby, we gotta get you ready for bed. We gonna get in the tub.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I leave my imprint. So sometimes when she takes her baths, I turn it into like a little nighttime scene. I put the bubbles on, I'll put on these LED lights. She has music going on. And then she has these neon crayons that she can write on the wall. I want it to be adventurous because while she's doing that, I'm cleaning up.
Oh, good.
I'm getting her ready, for school tomorrow. So I'm trying to leave my imprint on her. She's getting to know my personality, and she's getting the attention.
She's like, look what mommy did for me.
Exactly. So I had to learn to balance my time out. I'm only one person. And
we all are.
We all are. And I'm only one person, and me and her father went through a really rough time. I went through, a process of a financial crisis and, worrying about rent, my car breaking down, and trying to, being and talking to somebody who was playing me. Like, all these emotions all over the place. That's what I was dealing with, and I'm raising her, and then I had to really just hone into what I needed. And once I did that, and I was able to shift my focus more on me mothering her.
Okay.
And then I made the decision to merge my life with somebody. And I'm not saying that was easy. For me, I felt like it was a better decision because, again, we loved each other, and we felt like it was the right time, but we were still getting to know one another. And things have transpired, and that's how Single Mothers Club came to exist. Based on what I was going through at that time, and I'm like, I know I'm not the only one.
Definitely not.
I'm not the only one, and our decisions, they are so important. They're imperative to our parenting because everything that we do, it's going to affect our child.
Yes.
And that's what we got to change our thinking. Whatever decision, no matter what we eat, if we know we're going to eat something that's going to make us tired, I can't go to sleep. Well, I can't eat that because I'm going to be knocked out. I know I got to get her up in a couple minutes. She got to go to bed. She got to go. Everything that we do now has to be around our children. So, but she's molded me into who I've become. I'm more responsible. I'm more focused, and and also happier to an extent. I was definitely depressed. I don't know if you ever went through a phase of like, what the hell is going on?
Girl, yes, absolutely. I can relate, and I think a lot of us can relate to that. And one thing I do want to add to that, though, like how we definitely have to make sure we are providing and focusing on our kids and making sure that they get what they get too. But let's also not forget about ourselves to make sure that we have those little things that we need. Sometimes we need our relaxation time.
Self-care.
Yes, self-care for real, because I'm just like, if we don't have it together mentally and we're about to fall apart, then we can't be our best selves for our children. So
Absolutely.
I think that's something we definitely need to work on. Even like to this day, sometimes I have to stop and pause, and I be like, okay, I can't just be business.
Right.
And saying that I'm trying to provide for me and my son, but then if I'm working so hard and I'm gonna fall apart and like from fatigue and exhaustion, then I'm not gonna be okay. Yeah, so I have to make sure, because then I don't want to like drop dead now because I've overworked myself, and I know that I can be a workaholic a lot of times.
So what do you do, like the self-care? I know I go to the gym, I walk, I'll take some time away. What do you do?
So me and my son actually go to the gym now 4 days a week together.
You look great.
Girl, I'm working on this.
I'm trying to hide this stuff. You should do like this. I'm here with it.
Yeah.
So I told my daughter, she was like, Mom, you got a wubba wubba.
Oh, what?
And I said,
She did.
I said, what's that? She's like, are you pregnant? I said,
I'm like, no, look, girl, this from you still.
this is from you. Her dad was like, 5 years later. I wasn't talking. I came to pick up my daughter.
Oh my God. So yeah, we definitely gotta find time for self-care, even if it's just going to get a massage or something. Shoot, and then I gotta get my naps in now. Like,
Girl, I took a nap today.
For real, like
You text me too. I was like, I'll get back to. I was knocked out.
no, we gotta listen to our bodies, because like if we don't shut ourselves down for a minute, our bodies will shut itself down and do it for us. And I'm like, no, we need to do it before it does it to us.
Right.
So that's just things to think about. There's so many things. Like, oh my gosh, but we are running out of time, y'all.
Right. But I just want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
The last thing before we go quickly into our celebrity spotlight, in terms of self-care, I need to make sure that on a daily basis, as much as I can, I look great. Because I be going outside looking like I need to be inside.
We had a conversation about this. Me and my girl, she was like, yo, you gotta really be thinking about your image. She was like, even at the studio, like, people coming in, she was like, you looking like you're a little homeless.
Mom said, what you going through? I said, Mom, you can tell. She said, can I tell? She's the type of sweatpants with sandals. What are you doing? like little like young M.A. said, still come back on Miss some bummy stuff. So I mean, but you know, we have to present ourselves well. And
Yes.
this is the perfect segue and the perfect way to end our segment. We would love to give some recognition to a hot mama.
Yeah.
She is killing it. We've seen her on social media. We don't know her personally, but our celebrity hotspot is definitely Lala.
Yes, Lala.
I don't know if you see La 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 La. Have you seen her?
She is killing it.
She's
that
killing
body yada
the
like
body
everything.
hair. She is our spot. She's our spotlight single mom.
Yes.
So she's beautiful. Her acting career is booming, and we just want to pay homage to you and give you some recognition, Lala. You look beautiful. Keep it up. And she's glowing, and I just love how she's showing her, you know, her mommy and son moments. I always wanted to be a boy mom.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh.
So when I have my 3 stepsons.
Okay.
Beautiful. But so congratulations.
Yes,
Lala.
congratulations.
All the best to you. And to you too. You know, you look beautiful.
And to you too. Thank you
so much.
And all y'all beautiful mamas out there,
Yes.
you know, take care of yourselves. So until next time, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Single Mothers
Club.